You've tuned into the Relationship Therapy Podcast with Tony Miller Sr., a podcast designed for couples who are married, couples who are dating, and have marriage in their future. We will guide you to the principles that will make your relationship better. Stick around. You might just learn something that will help your relationship last longer, grow stronger, and become healthier. Now, here's your host, Tony Miller Sr.
Hello, everybody. This is your host, Tony Miller, and welcome to another episode of the Relationship Therapy Podcast. Matter of fact, this is episode number 22 and the final episode of season 1. And I'd like to just take this time to thank everybody who has taken time out of their busy schedule to listen to an episode or a few episodes, or even maybe you've heard every single episode to date. And we just want to thank you for that. When I started this venture, my focus hasn't changed. I wanted to talk about relationships and how to maintain relationships. And what I've noticed over the last month or so is that as I've talked about how to keep relationships together, I also understood that there are people who have had relationships and those relationships went through a big breakup and they were still able to recover from that and find a new relationship sometime down the road, and they are experiencing a great time in those new relationships. So I understand in season 2, I'm going to talk more about recovery or bouncing back after a breakup. We're going to spend more time talking about that. We're going to interview more people who have gone from a breakup and it looked like all was lost, but then they have recovered. So we're going to do that. But as promised, I told you in this episode, I was going to give you some facts. I was going to give you some numbers that what this podcast has generated from episode 1 until episode 21. So just know that there will be more added to it after this. So as far as downloads, we have had 1,151 downloads to this podcast. That means somebody at some point clicked on the link, went to their particular listening apps, and they clicked on the Relationship Therapy Podcast and listened to an episode. And I greatly appreciate that. But then we were also in 28 different countries, including United States, of course, but we were in 26 different countries. So people all over the world are tuning in to the Relationship Therapy Podcast. We're over 209 cities throughout the world. We're probably close to 35 or 38 states in the United States, but 209 cities across the world in just 21 episodes. And I also like to take this special time to thank Elephant in the Room Counseling Services, LLC, for being advertiser with us for the remaining of season 1, as they have donated to the Relationship Therapy Podcast to make sure this continues to happen. So I'm just thankful. I'm overwhelmed by the support, and many, many more are just finding out about it. So we know that our numbers are going to grow in season 2. And even while we're in hiatus, we're still going to have people listening to season 1. So after this episode, we're going to take some time off, but we're coming back Labor Day Monday in September. So we're going to be done for the rest of July. We're going to take August and we're going to replenish ourselves and come out with some new material so that we can help you grow stronger in your relationships so your relationships can last longer and you can just be healthier in your relationship. Even if you have to be in that relationship and you're struggling, we want you to be able to last in that relationship and make it better. So let me get to this week's material, and this is going to be a short one, but I just wanted to give you something as a takeaway, what we're going to spend more time on next year or next season. So today I want to talk about how to recover from a broken relationship. Too often we go through broken relationships and we treat it as if it is the last thing, or we've run out of time, or we've run out of what our part of the world is about. But relationships are just for that season. And it doesn't mean that anything is necessarily wrong with you. What it means is that you and that individual may not have needed to be together any longer. Yes, it's a breakup. Yes, you're no longer together, and it hurts. It hurts deep down in your soul, in your spirit, and it has you wondering, will you ever find another relationship? Well, I'm going to give you about 4 things that I want to talk about that is going to maybe help you recover from a broken relationship. Whether you broke it off and you saw that it was going nowhere, or they out of the blue broke it off, hopefully these things are going to help you. The first point that I want to make is, once there is a breakup, you must take time to grieve. It's important that you take time to grieve. Think about it. You've been in this relationship with this person for so many years or a certain amount of time, and now it's over. And you start looking at yourself and you start looking at what you've invested into that relationship. And now that you see that it's over, you feel the need to start blaming yourself or looking at some of the different things that you went through, and maybe you start beating yourself up and saying, if I had handled it differently, the relationship would still be together. I heard Bishop T.D. Jakes quote this one time. He said, breakups in marital relationships are sometimes worse than death, because all the secrets and all the little nuances of your relationship moves on and it doesn't go to the grave. But just know that you're not the first one to go through this, and you will not be the last one to go through this. So many people have recovered from broken relationships. And let me stop here and say this. During this breakup, you will go through your grieving process. There was a book written called On Grief and Grieving by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and David Kessler. And in it, it talked about the 5 stages of grief. And in season 2 of the Relationship Therapy Podcast, we're going to talk about that a little bit more. But these are the 5 stages: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then finally acceptance. We're going to talk more about that, but let's go on to point number 2. After you have had time to grieve, number 2, you must find a new source of joy. And what I mean by that, you've got to take the time that you have, your free time, and refocus your attention to something new, something that brings you joy. It may you take up a new hobby. It may that you just change jobs. So many people leave cities after a breakup. And if that's what you want to do and you're able to sustain yourself during that, that's fine. but you need to find a new source of joy that is going to fulfill you and keep you as you go through this breakup. It is funny how so many people who've gone through breakups, they seem to recover in a better way, with a better relationship, a better mate, because they took their mind off of the breakup and started placing their mind on a new source of joy. So you've got to take that time to do that. If you don't, you're going to drive yourself crazy and even your support system around you, because you're still concerned about what has happened, and what has happened is now in the past. Number 3, as we talk about how to recover from broken relationships, don't analyze the breakup. I know you're going to be doing that during the stages of grief, but once you get past that stage of denial, and then you're going through anger, you got to make sure you don't analyze the breakup anymore. Don't look at something that, if I had done this better, or if I had said this or responded a different way, we'd still be together. Don't analyze it. You keep rehashing the same thing, and you're playing the record over and over again. What you're doing is making yourself live in misery. It's painful enough to actually go through it, but to continue to take yourself through it over and over again just keeps the wound from healing. You know, when you scratch yourself and you put a Band-Aid over it, and sometimes you're playing with the Band-Aid and you're messing with the scratch or the cut, that cut never gets an opportunity to heal because you keep messing with it. Give yourself time to heal by not analyzing the breakup. I know a guy several years ago. He was an older gentleman, probably at that time. I was in my 20s. He was probably in his 40s, or maybe even closing in on 50. But he broke up with his longtime girlfriend. They weren't married, but they had been together for a while. And it hit him so hard that he kept playing a particular song over and over. Every time I go to his apartment, that song was playing. And right at the time I was getting ready to leave, he was still playing that song. Don't analyze the breakup. My suggestion is move on, but don't move on to somebody else too quickly. And here's the 4th tip I want to give you on how to recover from broken relationships. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. And I mean taking care of yourself physically, taking care of yourself spiritually, and also taking care of yourself mentally. You've got to step outside the box of your misery and start paying closer attention to who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. The damage has been done. It's now in your rearview mirror. And it's going to be hard. I'm not sitting here telling you how easy it's going to be. It is going to take some hard work to recover from this broken relationship. But you've got to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. These are some of the ways you can do that. You can find a fitness class and just take that fitness class and sweat some of that pain out of you, or change the way you eat. Go on a diet that will help lift you, or join a dance class, or go on trips with some friends or your support system just to help you move past your pain. But you have to make it all about you. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, you'll be the one that's phasing out. instead of your ex significant other. So there you have it. How to recover from broken relationship. Number 1, you must take time to grieve. Number 2, you must find a new source of joy. Number 3, don't analyze the breakup. And number 4, make sure you take care of yourself. Well, that's all I have for you. And I'm going to miss you guys until we come back Labor Day Monday or Labor Day in September. But I hope that you have a good rest of your summer. Again, thank you for listening. And if you're interested in advertising your business, please contact me at my email, tmrelationshiptherapy@gmail.com, so that we can talk about how you can be either a sponsor or advertising your business on this podcast. Thank you. Have a great day. And as always, in closing, it takes 2 to make a relationship work. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Relationship Therapy Podcast with Tony Miller Sr. We hope you have enjoyed this episode. Tune in next time for more insight on how to make your relationship better. If you have any questions, please email us at tmrelationshiptherapy@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Until next time, remember, it takes 2 to make the relationship work.